Hey guys, this is Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here very early, January 4th, 2021, to talk about everything that went down tonight on Wrestle Kingdom or at Wrestle Kingdom Night 1. My light is way too bright. Let's do too much. There we go. That was bugging me. I looked way too bright there. We'll go with it. Half asleep already. Anyways, I'm just joking. With that, I really enjoyed New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 1. I'm going to preface, I don't have any notes for the Rumble or the Rambo because I had issues getting onto New Japan World tonight, where it kept, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it kept giving me this error issue every time I would log in. And then by the time I did log in, that Rambo was like halfway through, and I just go, eh. So, yeah. But other than that, I thought the show was really good. I will tell you about, and if you saw my tweet, you'll know there was one match that I was bored through that I just did not get into at all. But nonetheless, I do want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited or YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Hold on. This camera is really getting on my... I keep changing the brightness. There we go. That's better. We're here on Twitch. We're here on YouTube. Also, remember, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Also, let's switch some things around. Bada bing, bada boom. There. Whoa, that's not right. Give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Fix something. Because we need the results of Wrestle Kingdom. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're good. We need the results of Wrestle Kingdom. That way you guys know what's going on. Now we should be good. Scrolling right down there, bottom of your screen. Remember, you can help us out if you're watching on Twitch. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, by donating Twitch bits, or by subscribing to the channel. And you can subscribe one of two ways, either with the Twitch tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel that you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And well, greatly appreciate it if you gave that free subscription to us, because it does help us out here. Also, remember, if you are watching on YouTube, you can help us out by giving us a Super Chat donation, and all Super Chat donations do get read on the air, so we appreciate all the love, support, and help you guys do give us. Let's talk Wrestle Kingdom. Now, like I stated, I don't have any notes for the Rambo, other than Toru Yano made it to the Final Four, made it to the actual championship match tomorrow, and didn't even have to get into the ring tonight. So, I guess his name's Don Kanashi. Opened up the show, the main card, as a special guest ring announcer and introduced Riki Choshu, who came out with his grandson. The show began with Don King with the Don King impersonator, Riki Choshu. And yeah, really, really cool to see Riki Choshu out there. I think Choshu was getting annoyed with the singer guy because he would try to say something and he'd cut him off like 2 or 3 times. Seemed like Choshu was getting a little annoyed. Excuse me. We then had a video package highlighting tonight's matches and the safety precautions being taken, and then the show kicked off with a phenomenal opening matchup. Excuse me. This match saw the Best of the Super Junior 2020 winner, Hiromu Takahashi, take on the Super J Cup winner and El Phantasmo winner. Goes on to tomorrow night to challenge for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and that champion is Taiji Ishimori. This match went about 17-18 minutes, and boy howdy, was this a high-action, fast-paced, high-flying match. So ELP rolled outside as soon as the bell rang, and he grabbed Hiromu's Best of the Super Juniors trophy and his Super J Cup jacket. He took the trophy, and he just threw it. Threw it down, pissed everybody off. He then started, he had the jacket in his hand because the Super J Cup winner gets a jacket, and he goes, "Where's Liger? Hey, where's Liger?" And while he was doing this, he started I should say jaw-jacking with Kevin Kelly. He turns around, and Hiromu leaps off of the apron with a front drop kick that literally sends ELP about 5 feet back. He flew backwards as fast as any man can fly backwards, crashed through a gate that was along the barricade that they have at ringside, and I was just like, whoa, that's how this match is starting. Let's go. Also, Hiromu hit a seated senton off the top rope to the floor at one point as well after ELP got back to his feet. He went for a senton bomb, but ELP escaped and hit his own senton bomb. ELP followed this up with the beautiful Asai moonsault off the top rope to the ramp. At this point, though, he, landed awkwardly and was selling his ankle throughout the remainder of this match. ELP then started to channel former Bullet Club members. First off, he channeled Kenny Omega trying to do the Terminator dive, but then didn't actually do it. Basically screwing with the crowd. Hiromu landed a shotgun dropkick back in the ring. ELP answered by stomping away at various limbs. He, for the most part, targeted the right hand of Tanahashi. ELP walked to the ropes, and this got a little bit too much because he walked the ropes and he bounced on the ropes and he walked the ropes and he walked backwards on the ropes, and it's like, Tanahashi, pull the fucker down. You ain't that out of it. You're on your feet. Hiromu responded, though, by biting the hand of ELP and hitting a cradle driver off the top rope for a near fall. ELP did the finger break spot. He teased a Styles Clash, going back to another former member of the Bullet Club. But instead, Hiromu blocked the Styles Clash and hit a dynamite plunger for a 2 count. They traded thrust kicks here. Hiromu hit a victory roll for a 2. But then, still sold the damage of the finger spot, and ELP stomped away at the hand some more. ELP used a victory roll to get a near fall. Hiromu hit a thrust kick, and ELP teased an airplane spin neck breaker. Hiromu blocked it, though, but fell victim to a bastard driver for a 2. They fought on the top rope, and ELP bumped the referee. He then hit 2 low blows to Hiromu. ELP hit a super Rana off the top, then hit a frog splash for a 2. ELP tried the CR2. Hiromu blocked it and sat down for a 2 count. ELP then hit a Styles Clash for another near fall, so he finally did get it. Then he went for a V-trigger and teased a one-winged angel. Hiromu escaped and hit a DVD into the buckle. ELP then countered a time bomb and used a bridge with his feet on the ropes for a close near fall. ELP once again went for the CR2. Hiromu blocked it and hit a Hurricane Rana. He then trapped ELP's legs for the pinfall victory. Hiromu Takahashi picks up the victory tonight, and well, he's going on tomorrow to challenge Taiji Ishimori for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. I think that match is going to be really, really good. These two guys have worked well together in the past, so hey, I'm looking forward to this one. Ishimori defending against Takahashi. Next up, with the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on the line, we had Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. I guess my Alexa went off. Anyways, Alexa, stop. Let me mute this thing. Alexa, anyways, got ran in on. Where was I? IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Tama Tonga and Tangaloa challenging Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. I'm going to say it right now. I don't know if I can ever get used to short hair, no beard, Tama Tonga. I'm going to say it right now. I think it's always going to look weird to me because I don't think before this I ever saw him without the long hair and beard. I may have seen him long hair, no beard before, but it's just like, to me, Tama Tonga is long hair and beard. This is a very long match. Match went almost 20 minutes. Two teams went back and forth early on. At the opening bell, Taichi and Sabre established the early upper hand, though, trading quick tags and various chokeholds on Tama Tonga. Jado at one point provided a distraction from the outside and allowed Tama to tag out. Jado used a kendo stick on Doki, on the floor. Tangaloa went to work over Taichi as Guerrillas of Destiny cut him off on their side of the ring. Taichi worked as the babyface. It was basically Suzuki-gun as the babyfaces, or what is their tag team name? Dangerous Techers, I think is what they're called. Anyways, they worked as the babyfaces. God worked as the heels, basically. Even though, to me, I would have thought it would have been the other way around, but hey. Taichi hit a jumping high kick in the corner at one point and tagged in Sabre. Sabre got the hot tag and ran wild. He used a European clutch on Tama Tonga for a near fall. Sabre used an octopus as well. Tonga then got saved with the attack from behind. Sabre was then cut off and worked over. Sabre tried to use the guillotine on Tangaloa. Instead, Tanga broke the hold and hit a powerbomb. God hit Sabre with a Guerrilla War, but did not attempt to go for the pin here. Jado called for the super powerbomb, though. Tama Tonga set it up with a stinger splash in the corner. Sabre used a guillotine on Tangaloa on the top rope. Taichi used a stretch plum on Tama Tonga in the middle of the ring. Sabre and Taichi hit stacked up superplexes on Tangaloa. Got a near fall off of it. Taichi then got a hot tag. All four guys jumped in as the match broke down. Tama hit a stun gun on Sabre. Taichi blocked a gun stun. Gun stun, not a stun gun. Gun stun. And then hit a backdrop suplex on Tangaloa for a 2 count. Taichi took his trousers off. His trousers came off. My first thought was, who does he think he is? Angel Garza? Tama Tonga then jumped in with Taichi's iron glove. He then used it on Taichi. Guerrillas of Destiny then hit the Absinthe. I think that's what it's called. Absinthe. And pinned Taichi to win the tag titles. This was actually a history-making victory. So, this is the 8th year in a row that the heavyweight tag titles have changed hands. I want to say 5th year in a row that the tag league winners won the tag titles. And this is the 7th title reign of the Guerrillas of Destiny, which actually gives them the most title reigns of any other tag team to hold the heavyweight tag team titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, hey, we made some history tonight. Well, not we saw history be made. Good fun match, though. I thought it went a little long for my liking. Then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jon Moxley. Not in Japan, but in a pre-taped video from the New Japan Dojo in Los Angeles. So Mox said everyone who's fought for the right to challenge him probably thought they'd get off easy, but they're wrong. Moxley said he's the boogeyman of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and whoever wins the contract tonight, he's coming for him because the Death Rider is ready. Now, I don't know when and where this match is going to take place because Moxley can't go to Japan. If Moxley goes to Japan, essentially he loses almost, if not a full month or more, of AEW action. Because when you go to Japan, you must immediately quarantine for 2 weeks. Then, when you leave Japan, you must immediately quarantine for 2 weeks. And that doesn't count whatever he does in between those 2 weeks and 2 weeks. So, I don't know where this match is going to happen. He was at the New Japan Dojo when he filmed this promo, so maybe Tony Khan's going to let him wrestle on New Japan Strong. I don't know. But we got to see something here. And speaking of the U.S. title, Kenta defended his briefcase against Satoshi Kojima. Supposed to be Juice Robinson. Juice busted his orbital bone. We got this match. Match wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that great, to be honest. But it's still, I didn't think, was the worst match of the night. So basically, they kept the match simple. A lot of selling in between all the big spots. Kenta tried some of his customary stalling on the outset. He got distracted by Tenzan at ringside, and Kojima was able to use that distraction to get the early offense. Kenta used Kojima as a weapon on the outside, shoving him into Tenzan. Kojima then hit a DDT on the floor. And then back in the ring, Kenta hit a top rope clothesline for a 2. Kojima came back with a Mongolian chop and machine gun chops as well. Kenta went for a draping DDT, but Kojima blocked it, and they fought on the apron. Kenta teased a vertical suplex off the apron, and Kojima blocked it and hit a DDT on the apron. Kojima then hit a Koji cutter for a near fall. Kojima teased a lariat, and Kenta blocked it and hit a power slam. Kenta went outside and grabbed his briefcase. He bumped the ref and tried to do a briefcase shot. Kojima hit a lariat on the case and knocked it away. Kenta then blocked another lariat. Kojima then hit a left arm lariat and got a near fall off of it. Kenta would then duck another lariat and hit I think it's called a Busaksku. I'm not good with all these big Japanese words, so they said a Busakyu knee. He hit a knee. And they traded some strikes until Kenta hit another big knee for a near fall. Kenta would then follow that up with a go to sleep and pick up the victory, retaining his briefcase, retaining his right to challenge Moxley for the U.S. Championship. We then had an intermission where we got a couple interesting commercials here. They announced New Japan Strong Spirits, a mobile game coming in 2021. We didn't really get much details on what the mobile game is. It was a weird commercial with Naito and I guess one of the guys making the game in a restaurant, and Naito left without paying or something. I don't really know exactly what happened here. But we're getting a new mobile game. They say it's going to be available all around the world. So sometime in 2021. We then got a promo for... So this was weird. So earlier today, F4W Online reported that New Japan is close to signing an English language television deal, and that the announcement could come at any time. Well, that announcement came here. They said New Japan, and I guess it's New Japan Strong, will be coming soon to US and UK television. And then, this is supposed to be English language television because it's New Japan Strong. And the entire commercial was in Japanese, so we didn't hear anything they said. And then they come back from the break, and they're like, hey, did you see that commercial? UK, US, you're getting New Japan Strong. More info coming soon. So I have no clue what's going on with that, but New Japan's coming to television. Not just New Japan World, not just Fight TV. But the New Japan Strong show is exclusively on New Japan World so far, so we'll see what this all leads to. It said coming soon. I don't know how soon because I don't speak Japanese. I couldn't understand what they said in the commercial. Next up, we had what I thought was the worst match of the night, and not counting the Rambo, because I really only saw half the Rambo. You would say the Rambo was the worst match of the night. I'm saying main card-wise, worst match of the night, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Great-O-Khan, and I don't think I've ever said this before. A, worst match of the night, Tanahashi. B, I was bored throughout the entire match, Tanahashi. Yeah. And you can't blame us on Tanahashi. Fucking Great-O-Khan. So they started with some mat work. They established that O-Khan can hold his own on the mat. O-Khan tried to throw Tanahashi over the top rope. Tanahashi tried to skin the cat. get back in, and Okan chopped his hand. Okan then posted Tanahashi and hit a slam on the ramp. They did a counter-out tease, but Tanahashi made it back in. Okan hit some of his wacky Mongolian chops. He used a knee bar. Tanahashi reached the ropes. Okan tried a kick, and Tanahashi blocked it and teased a dragon screw. Okan slid out and went for another kick. Tanahashi then hit the dragon screw. He then hit a series of flying forearms, but sold damage to his knees from landing on them during the forearm shots. Tanahashi then hit a slam and a somersault senton for a near fall. Okan blocked a sling blade attempt and drove Tanahashi to the mat with a unique throw. Okan then hit some more Mongolian chops, used another knee bar, and Tana once again forced the break. Okan then hit an overhead throw. He's dumping Tana to the floor, and Tanahashi skinned the cat this time and hit the twist and shout and a sling blade for a near fall. Tanahashi then went to the top and teased a high fly flow, but Okan cut him off with some offense, hit him with a iron claw, one of the just most unrealistic moves I've ever seen. And fucking Great Okan tries to use it as a finisher. Who's gonna... You can tell he's not squeezing his hands like this, just over his face like this. He's not even like trying to squeeze it or anything. Fuck the iron claw. Okan then hit an inside-out back suplex and got a near fall. Okan hit an inverted suplex for a 2, then grabbed a chair. Okan called for a dominator on the chair. Tanahashi slid out and hit another twist and shout. Tanahashi teased using the chair, but tossed it to the outside instead and hit a dragon suplex for a near fall. Tanahashi would then go to the top rope and hit a high fly flow to Great Okan's back. He flipped Okan over, jumped back to the top rope, hit another high fly flow, pinned him, and defeated him. Yep, the Ace picks up a victory here tonight against the Great Okan. With that, we then move on to Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. This match was great. And I do see in the chat, Puck Ryan says, did you notice Ospreay worked a lot slower than usual? I understand he had a long match to go, but I thought Ospreay wasn't as explosive as usual. Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you right now, Puck Raven. Have you been watching New Japan, more specifically Ospreay matches, since he turned heel and started the Empire? Since doing so, he has worked a less high flyer style because, well, that's what you're supposed to do as a heel. We saw the same thing with Pac or Neville in WWE. He always went for the big moves, worked really quickly, tried to always hype up the crowd and stuff, but as soon as he turned heel, he slowed his stuff down, only went to the top to hit his finish, and there you go. And that's what Ospreay is now doing. He is slowing his stuff down. He is working a more methodical heel style. And he knows the fans love the high flying. So as the heel, you don't want to give the fans what they want. So that's why he's working a more slow, methodical style. But overall, I thought this match was excellent. It did everything it was supposed to. It went 35 minutes and felt like it was no more than 15 to 20. Also, this match was brutal, but not as brutal as the main event because, well, in the main event, we'll talk about this later, I think frickin' Ibushi knocked himself loopy. But we'll talk about that. We're talking about Okada versus Ospreay. This match was amazing. After locking up early, Okada hit his customary clean break on the ropes. Ospreay didn't take it kindly and was a little bothered by it and fired up with some strikes. They traded a series of strikes. Okada hit a running back elbow and a DDT. Okada hit a rope-assisted tope gongrio. B. Priestley and started jawing at Okada as he climbed back into the ring. There's also one time where she starts yelling, and the referee looks at her and goes, B! Like, hey, don't get involved, motherfucker. I liked that. Because, like, there was one point where Ospreay went for a pin, but he really didn't have Okada down. And so, the ref's like, I ain't counting. Because, he put him flat on the mat. And then Bree yells at the ref, and he's like, I don't want to hear from you. I liked that. Where was I? Okada hit a rope assisted Tope con Rio. Ospreay used the distraction from B to hit a drop kick, sending Okada crashing to the floor. Ospreay and Priestley tore up some of the padding at ringside, exposing the wood floor below. Ospreay teased a pile driver on the wood, and Okada teased a DDT. Ospreay had to settle for a neck breaker on a padded section of the platform. We then get to what I just talked about, where Red Shoes refused to count the pin. B yelled at her. He yelled back at her. Ospreay then hit a back suplex and then went for the pin for a near fall. Ospreay then used a chin lock to remain in control. Okada at one point hit a backdrop at the 10-minute mark. Okada hit some Okada hit a flapjack and got a 2 off of it. Okada teased an air raid crash neck breaker. Ospreay blocked it. Okada hit a big boot and then an air raid crash for a 2. Ospreay came back with a pip pip cheerio. Ospreay hit a strike on the belt line, then hit a German suplex into a bridge for a near fall. Ospreay went for a storm breaker, and Okada hit a backdrop out of that with a heavy, heavy rainmaker. The two traded strikes here for a while until Ospreay sat on the top rope. Okada hit a drop kick that sent Ospreay tumbling off the top rope. He crashed on the apron, then crashed over. He tumbled over the ropes, smacked the apron, like this part of his body, which then flipped him back the other way, and he slammed on the ground. I'm like, ow. What a tumble. Anyways, crazy little sequence followed here. Ospreay hit Okada and Ospreay got back in the ring. Okada hit a picture-perfect shotgun drop kick off the top rope. Ospreay then fought off a tombstone attempt and a cheeky Nando kick. Ospreay hit a reverse Bloody Sunday DDT for a near fall. Ospreay then hit a hook kick. Okada then hit a drop kick. We then saw some just cool-ass shit. Ospreay countered a drop kick attempt, a front drop kick. So, put this in perspective. Okada grabs Ospreay, throws him, whips him off the ropes. As Ospreay's coming back at Okada, Okada jumps to go for the front drop kick, but Ospreay jumps at the same time, grabs him, boom, powerbomb. If you didn't see this spot, this was an amazing spot I've never seen done before, and they pulled this off that hitch, and I loved this spot. This is probably my favorite spot of the match. Probably my favorite spot of the night, because I just loved the counter of the front drop kick getting countered into a damn powerbomb so smoothly. And at this point, they called 20-minute mark. The fight spilled to the outside on the exposed platform. Ospreay teased a suplex on the timekeeper's table. Okada teased a tombstone on the exposed platform. Ospreay then suplexed Okada over the barricade through 2 timekeeper tables. Both guys were down for a little while. We could see welts forming on the back of Okada. Ospreay dragged Okada back into the ring. Could have just got the count-out victory here. So this is where you could say he fucked up. Ospreay hit a springboard forearm strike off the top. Basically a phenomenal forearm. Got a near fall off of it. Ospreay hit a running powerbomb for another 2 count. Ospreay teased a stormbreaker off the apron to the exposed floor, but Okada blocked it. Ospreay teased an Os cutter off the post to the apron. Okada blocked it and hit a tombstone on the apron at the 25-minute call. Okada jumped back in the ring, and Ospreay beat the count in about 18-19. He then ran into a short Rainmaker. Ospreay ducked another Rainmaker attempt, but Okada hit a drop kick. Okada used the money clip, and Ospreay slipped out, and he slipped right into a spinning tombstone, which was then transitioned right into another money clip. Priestley then jumped on the apron, and Okada threw Ospreay into Priestley, and she took a bump off the apron. Okada maintained to put another money clip on, and after a long struggle, Ospreay reached the bottom rope to break the hold. The story now was that Ospreay getting tired, while Okada had plenty still left in the tank. Okada hit a series of heavy forearm strikes. Okada hit some short kicks at the 30-minute call. Ospreay tried to fire up his strikes. Okada no-sold the strikes and hit a slam. Okada went to the top, and Ospreay cut him off as they traded strikes, and Ospreay hit a running boot. Ospreay then hit a top rope Spanish fly, just picture perfect. Got a near fall off of it. Okada blocked an Os Cutter attempt, and Ospreay escaped a money clip attempt. He then connected with the Os Cutter, and Okada kicked out at 2. Ospreay then hit a series of strikes from the mount. He followed this up with short kicks to the face. Red Shoes tried to intervene, so Ospreay threw him down. Ospreay hit a sick kick to the brainstem of one Okada. Ospreay teased a hidden blade, but Okada caught him with a drop kick. As we get the 35-minute call, Okada then blocked a Stormbreaker into a sit-out tombstone, followed it up immediately with the Rainmaker, pinned Ospreay, and picked up the victory. That was 2 losses for Ospreay's new Empire group here in New Japan Pro Wrestling tonight. He lost, and Great-O-Khan lost. They don't want to get clean sweeped. Then tomorrow, Jeff Cobb has to win the Never Openweight title match. But Okada does pick up the victory, defeats Will Ospreay tonight in just an excellent match, my favorite match of the night. Then we move on to our main event. This match was very, very good. Like I said, Ospreay Okada excellent. This was just one slight step down at very, very good. The IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship on the line. Double title match. Tetsuya Naito defending against Kota Ibushi. These two men. Whenever you get, I'm just going to say right now, whenever you get an Ibushi Naito match, you fear that somebody's going to die. You fear that somebody is at one point not going to get back up. And I'm going to say it right now. I think Ibushi was very, very hurt in this match. I have no knowledge of this, but I think he was knocked loopy. Because I'm going to say, we're going to fast forward all the way to the end of this match. Naito loses. He gets pinned by Ibushi. And so Naito's selling it. He lost. He's just flat out in the middle of the ring laying there. Ibushi starts to stir a little. Starts to move around. The match is over. His music is playing. And he tries to pin Naito. And the referee, Red Shoes, is like, whoa, hey, you don't got to do that. Look, 2 belts, they're yours. And freaking Kota Ibushi looks at him and goes, oh? I think Kota Ibushi was legitimately knocked out here for a second. Loopy. Just, yeah. I don't know what happened here, but that's very concerning that the match is over. His music is playing. He tries to pin the guy again. What? And give me 2 seconds to ban this guy in the YouTube chat. Because someone over here just spamming up the YouTube chat. There we go. As far as the matches go, they started with some mat work. And they brought the crowd down a bit from the last match. The pace picked up. They fought on the floor. They did a series of counters and teases on the apron and the floor. Before Naito hit a belly-to-belly suplex on the ramp. Ibushi made it back in the ring at about 15. Remember, in New Japan, I should have mentioned this earlier. New Japan, it's 20 seconds for the count out. Naito used a head scissors on the mat. He then hit a series of elbows in the corner. Ibushi fought out with a DDT and hit a jumping mid-kick and a standing moonsault for a near fall at the 10-minute mark. Naito hit a wicked back elbow at one point. He tried a follow-up combination. He hit a follow-up combination carbon in the corner. I don't know what I wrote here. Ibushi cut him off with a lariat on the apron. Naito fell to the floor and Ibushi went outside after him. Naito hit a neck breaker on the floor. Naito hit another neck breaker off the apron to the floor, which looked very bad. Ibushi landed right on his head. And this wasn't the only time he landed right on his head. There's also a time when all of Naito's weight landed right on his head. We'll get to that. Back inside, Naito used a crucifix. Ibushi forced a rope break. Ibushi blocked a flying forearm and hit a German suplex. Naito no-sold the German, but immediately fell victim to a double stomp from Ibushi. There was a double down spot here at about the 15-minute mark. Ibushi hit a power slam, but missed a moonsault. Naito applied the Pluma Blanca. Ibushi forced a rope break. Naito hit a series of forearms and elbows to the neck. He then set up for a Destino. And Naito hit a Gloria for a near fall. Naito tried to set up for a top rope Frankensteiner, and Ibushi slid out and hit a backflip kick, sending Naito crashing to the mat and rolling to the apron. Ibushi teased a package piledriver on said apron. Naito blocked it and hit a backdrop on the apron. Ibushi answered with a Hurricane Rana off the apron to the floor. Looked nuts. They teased a count out here, but Naito made it back at 19. They fought on the ropes, and Naito hit an amazing looking, but scary at the same time, Super Poison Rana, where frickin' Ibushi landed on the top of his head. Naito teased a Destino, and Ibushi blocked it with a couple high kicks. Ibushi then teased a Kamigoye, and Naito avoided it and hit a Destino. But when he hit the Destino, entire body and just all of him landed splat on the head, face, just landed right on Ibushi's head. I thought he crushed it. I thought he was done. But no, Ibushi kicked out. Naito went for a second Destino, and Ibushi blocked it, hit a bastard driver. They did another double down spot at the 25-minute mark. I think, when did this match? This match went 31 minutes, so it was actually shorter by just a couple of minutes than Ospreay and Okada. They traded a series of strikes, and Naito used a rolling capo kick. Ibushi answered with a lariat, then hit a last ride. Ibushi maintained wrist control after hitting the last ride. Ibushi hit a Kamigoye, but Naito kicked out at 2. Ibushi then missed a Phoenix Splash, and Naito hit a second Destino. Ibushi then again kicked out. Ibushi slid out of a Destino attempt and hit a mid kick and a second Kamigoye. Naito kicked out at 2. And I'm going to criticize Red Shoes here. Red Shoes, like, and I'm not trying to compare other companies, but in WWE and AEW, referees call the match like a shoot, for the most part. But in New Japan with Red Shoes, you always see he knows this isn't the actual pin. So I got to pretend I'm going for 3, but I'm going to pull it because he goes 1, 2, 3. And he's like, always, he pulls his arm back or he slides his whole body in a direction so he doesn't actually put the 3 down. And towards the end of this match, it was just getting very, very obvious when it wasn't going to be the 3. Because you can tell he goes 1, 2, waits a couple seconds. And like he hesitates before going down for the 3 and then goes 3 or 3. It was getting to me. And it's not the first time I've noticed this from Red Shoes, where he's going for that 1, 2, 3, but he's going to pull it back or stop it. We have the 30-minute call here, and Ibushi pulled his right knee pad down. We know what that means. Naito hit an Enziguri and a Valentina. Naito went for another Destino, and Ibushi slid out and hit a jumping knee strike. Ibushi then hit a third Kamigoye and pinned Naito right there in the middle of the ring to become the double champion. And then that's when Ibushi was a little loopy. Match was over. He still thought he had to go for the pin. Red Shoes is like, whoa, bro, match over. Here's your belts. Naito then steals the belts away from Red Shoes. Looks like he's about to get out of the ring. He turns around, walks over to Ibushi. He hands the titles to Ibushi himself. They take him out. Ibushi's in the ring all by himself. And my first thought was, where's Switchblade? There's Jay White and Ghetto. Jay White comes down to the ring, calls for a microphone. He says, hey, Ibushi, you did it. You said you were going to become the double champion. You said you were going to become a god. Well, you're not going to become a god because you're only going to be here to help me fulfill my destiny in becoming the champion. You will be a champion for one day, and tomorrow I will become the god. Whenever you try to get to the top of the mountain, whenever you try to reach to that pinnacle, I will always be there to pull you down. I thought Jay White's promo here was amazing. Jay White also said that he will help that Ibushi, like I said, Ibushi's only here to help fill his destiny. They said that Ibushi will breathe the switchblade tomorrow. Ibushi then took the mic as White and Ghetto retreated. He thanked Naito for having a great match. He said that his reign will not end after just one day. He thanked the crowd for being there in such trying times. Ibushi promised to keep the title tomorrow and win and become the god. The show will then end with Ibushi leaving up the ramp and fireworks going off at the top of the stage. Great show. I loved most of the show. Did not like, and it's just even weird to say I did not like the Tanahashi match. Tanahashi vs. Great-O-Khan was a very big letdown for me, but with that, I liked everything else. John Elite says, Tim, will we see Kenny tomorrow? No. Why would you see Kenny Omega? If Moxley can't go to Japan because of the COVID stuff and the quarantining, then of course Omega can't because he's the champion and needs to be on the show Wednesday because fucker's defending his title. Of course we're not going to see Kenny Omega tomorrow. Oh, and what would be the use? New Japan and AEW aren't working together. The only reason Moxley appeared tonight is because he's got a separate contract with New Japan that has nothing to do with AEW other than AEW has first dibs on him and can say, no, you can't go there right now, or no, you can't do this for them. I did see Kenny Omega's congratulatory tweet. I said it to a friend that I was talking to while we were watching, because we were watching together on Discord, whatever. And I go, Kenny Omega's in Florida right now. Happy. Very happy. And actually, pull up his tweet. Kenny Omega, man. Kenny Omega sent out a tweet in Japanese that translates to, it's finally, congrats. Finally, congrats. Again, I guess it just means you finally made it. You finally are the champion. But it is a loose translation, Japanese to English, through the Google Translate on Twitter. But with that was New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 15 Night 1. Metal Geek says Kenny the Collector versus Ibushi next year Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, first AEW and New Japan have to work together. They have to get a working relationship. As far as I know, talks have not happened. They may have, but I haven't heard anything of it. So, we'll see. We'll see. With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here to talk about Wrestle Kingdom Night 1. I know it's very late or very early, depending on where you are. It's very late. Actually, it's early. I don't know how to say it, but it's 5 a.m. where I am in California. We will be live again tomorrow following Night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. Also, I want to see, did anybody send in any text messages? We got a couple text messages. No, we got one text message. And I just talked about this. No, AEW is not teasing a New Japan partnership. I don't know where people are getting this from. But yeah, they're not teasing a New Japan partnership. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. We'll be live, I guess you could say later today, to review Monday Night Raw. It's Raw Legends Night. Drew McIntyre defends the title against Keith Lee. Then, after that, we'll all watch Wrestle Kingdom Night 2. Come back here and talk about that. So with that, guys, we got 2 live shows coming up in the next 24 hours. Have a great rest of your day or night or whatever. We'll see you after Monday Night Raw.